Hey everyone, this is Dean with DCA Crypto. Got a lot of people scared in the markets right now, thinking that the bull run is over and that we are crashing into the bear market now. So I'm going to cover that in this video and a few other things. So I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel, smash that like button, and let's jump into it. Alright, so we've had some red days in the markets recently, and I'm going to go over that in the video here, show you, if anything is out of the ordinary, if we got to worry about the bull run potentially being over, and that 74,000 top was in, and that was the end of the bull run here. So let's jump into it. Alright, so currently we're under 2 trillion market cap, so we lost the 2 trillion market cap total for crypto, but even Ethereum's down to $2,200. Bitcoin dropped down to under 53,000, having a little bit of a recovery as of this recording. Now, by the time this video comes out, 12 hours from now, this could crash further. That is definitely possible, so kind of keep that in mind. I'm just showing you what's in the charts right at this moment as I'm recording here. But overall, the alts have actually held up pretty strong. Yes, they're down a little bit, but a lot of alts didn't dip as hard as I thought they would have, with Bitcoin dropping this much over the last week or so. They've been holding pretty well. I think most of the weak hands have been shaken out in this alt market here, and a lot of people are still kind of holding on in hopes that we're going to go into a bull run here. So let's take a look at that. But if you look at the chart here for Bitcoin, I don't see anything out of the ordinary here. We're still in this channel that we've been in. If you look, it's like clockwork here. We touched right off this 52,600 mark here, right where that that line is. We touched right off from it. Now, by the time this recording comes out, we could have dipped further down in here, but even here when we wicked all the way down to like 48,900, we came all the way up and closed that candle inside this range still, even with that. So to me, we're still on track here. I don't see anything out of the ordinary, and if I had to take a step back and look at the overall picture on this, to me, this looks like a bullish chart. It doesn't look like a bear market, but that it is a possibility that we're having a correction like we did here. We hit the top, came down, and then we drop way down. But even if that were to happen, that doesn't necessarily mean the bull run's over, because as you can see here, the last cycle, we came all the way up here to 65,000 just about, and then we crashed all the way down here to 29,000 before we came up here and made a new all-time high of like 69,000 with Bitcoin towards the end of that bull run year after the halving. So I'm not too worried about this. It's just really painful right now, so it's difficult. A lot of people are getting shaken out. When I get a little bit extra money, I try to buy the dip on coins that are great buys right now. A lot of the gaming and AI coins are some fantastic buys right now. A lot of the alts really are at, some are at all-time lows for this cycle, and some are at, good buys for this cycle. So I'm trying to add a little bit here, a little bit there, in hopes that we're going to take off into the bull run. But so far, like I've said, as long as we stay in this range here, I don't see any reason to panic too much. If we were to drop all the way down here and lose, and get down to like below 40,000, then I think, we could be in trouble. But as long as we're holding up in here, I'm not really worried at all. If we dip down here, I'd be a little bit worried, and but as long as we didn't lose like the 40,000 level, I would still think that there's a chance we could still take off into a bull run at the end of this year, starting and into 2025. But like I said, I don't have a crystal ball, and I can't guarantee that. But this is just my thoughts on this right now. I know a lot of people are really worried and giving up, but I'm still holding out in hopes that I really don't see anything too scary to me. I'm not looking at all the different, the MACD and the RSI and all that stuff. I'm just looking at the range that Bitcoin is in, and to me it just looks like basically accumulation, and it's a major accumulation here for a long period of time, all the way from February until September now. I mean, we haven't seen accumulation like this in one range. It's always been, where we drop or come up or come up or come up or drop. We've been in this range here basically, for a long time, and hopefully this is just a big accumulation for a bigger leg up later on. I covered the rainbow chart in my video yesterday. We're still looking normal here. If you look at the cycle here last period, this was in the middle of the cycle. Yeah, it was before the halving, but we didn't have Bitcoin ETFs pushing up the price, right around the halving time. But as you can see in the middle of this cycle, between this bull run and this bull run here, we came all the way up into this yellow zone and then crashed all the way down into the bottom of the dark green zone. And yeah, we had the COVID event here, so I'm not going to pay too much attention to that, but that was normal for us to do this and then come all the way down to the bottom of this green zone before we took off into a bull run at the end of the year after the halving, or after the halving here. And it didn't move until, this is what, basically November, so end of October. It just started moving up and broke through this at the end of October. So we still potentially have a month and a half of this before we could break out if we follow what happened last cycle. But it was the end of October before we broke out of this and started moving into this bull run. And we didn't make a new all-time high until basically December here. So kind of keep that in mind. That is a potential for what could happen this cycle. We could come all the way down into here to the, this is saying 46,000 would be the bottom of this green zone if that were to happen. 46 to 48,000, depending on if we were to hit the bottom here and when. Somewhere, if we were to hit the bottom right now, it'd be like about 46,000. And then if we were to hit it later on, and I don't think we'd go that far out, but if we were to hit it in October, the bottom of that green zone would be about 47, 48,000 before we took off. So we'll have to see, but I'm still hopeful that we're going to get a bull run here. But look at the fear and greed index. We're at extreme fear, and like I said, I'm hoping that we would stay in extreme fear for a little while before we take off in a bull run here. Because if you look at all the greed we had here, that scares the heck out of me when we have this much greed in the market and not any fear for a long time, and not any extreme fear since, man, back here in 2022. It's been 2 years almost, January 2023 basically. So it's been, I guess about a year and almost a year and 3/4 before we've been in the red zone. A year and a half basically before we got into the extreme fear. That's a long time without going into extreme fear for crypto. And even in this middle of this bear cycle or bull cycle here, even in the middle of it, we were in extreme fear for a long time after that big crash before we took off into new all-time highs, and alts went to new all-time highs and crazy alt runs here. We had some crazy alt runs here in early 2021 as well, and then we had a huge crash, and then basically the end of 2021 is when we had the big alt run here, and a lot of alts made new all-time highs, and people made some crazy gains if they took profits out. A lot of people didn't take out any profits because they thought that we're just going to keep going higher because we weren't much higher than this peak here. People thought we were going to 100,000, and boom, we crashed. We were not going to hit 100,000. We only got up to like 69,000 here. So keep that in mind. That's why you want to make sure you're taking out profits on the way up, because you just don't know when the end is in. So kind of keep that in mind as you're going forward. But that's pretty much what I got for today's video, guys. I'm going to cut this video a little short. My wife was in the hospital last night. She's doing okay, but we had a little bit of a scare last night. She had to be rushed to the hospital, but she is doing good. She's resting now. I was up all night with her, and basically talking to her through text while she was at the hospital when she could talk, because I had to stay here with the kids. So that was scary because we didn't have any family close by that could really help us out, unfortunately. But we did have family supporting us from long ways away with prayers and stuff. But she's okay. She's doing fine. I just wanted to get a video out to you guys, but I'm gonna cut this video short and get to bed because I'm tired. Didn't get hardly any sleep last night, and I had to get the kids on the school bus and get them on the bus today and all that. So it's been a rough day for me, but I'm just glad she's okay and doing good, and she's back at home, and recovering and doing well. So I appreciate it, guys. If you would subscribe to my channel, appreciate if you give this video a like for the YouTube algorithm. It really does help get my video out to more people. And that's all I got for this one. We'll see you on the next video.
Tell me what you want, what you need. Tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me what you want, what you need. Tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me.